going on, guys? Nick Lesagor here.
Brandon Delakia.
Exit 12
Brewery
is in the house.
Yep.
And is brewing today.
Hallelujah.
Finally.
Thank God.
It feels like it's been forever.
Yeah, weather's beautiful.
Yeah, perfect. 60, 65, which is great for us. 71 actually, which is amazing for us.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
back up.
Yep.
And we're doing a double brew day today, Brandon. What are we doing?
So we're doing a New England IPA for Nick's graduation. I can't say that. Graduation. Congratulations, Nick. And we're also doing a Hefeweizen. Same thing for Nick's graduation.
Kaboom.
Do you want to go through the grain bill?
Yeah, so first we'll start with the New England IPA. We're going to be fermenting with Kveik yeast.
Quite, yep.
So if you follow us on social media, you saw that we created a starter for it. Our first time doing a starter, so we're pumped about that.
Got some hot shit for that.
Yeah. You just swore. So
You've done it before.
that's true. So we are going to be starting with 2 row, 11 pounds of that, 2 pounds of flaked oats, a pound of flaked barley, which we don't use all that much, so we're new to that one. A pound of the white wheat, and about 8 ounces, ended up going up to 9 ounces of chit wheat from a local maltster here in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm. So just on the Kveik, we are making a starter because I didn't think we had enough. We didn't think we had enough viable yeast, but we are still under pitching. So, you know, if you want to put in, you have to underpitch Kveik in the comments, you can. But we are.
Very true. And we're also utilizing Centennial hops and an EXP Tangerine hop, which I'm really pumped about. We utilized it on a New England IPA we actually have on tap, which is actually a ended up being a session ale, hazy ale. But the aroma was so great on it that we wanted to use pretty much, it's the same hop drops, same hop drops, everything is the same. We're just utilizing the Kveik yeast, and we messed around with the grain bill a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the Hefe. Well, he's pulling that up. The other thing we are going to do, we know the Kveik needs to be brewed hot, so we have ink birds now, and we have heat wraps, and we're going to be, fermenting about 92. So.
It's our first time it's our first time fermenting to temp instead of just throwing it upstairs in my bedroom.
Yep.
So for the Hefe, we went a little off the rails, just a little bit. 4 pounds of pale wheat, 3 pounds of 2 row locally sourced, which isn't true to style, we know, as well as a pound 12 ounces of wheat malt from the same local maltster, Valley Malt, and a pound of flaked oats, as well as a little bit over 7 ounces of Pilsner malt. Flaked oats as well, not true to style, but we wanted to enhance the mouthfeel.
But, we still have around 50% adjuncts, so, it still will be, a wheat yeast beer. We're going to use Imperial Yeast Stefan, I believe. First time using that, super excited. We're going to ferment a little high, try to get those banana flavors in, a little less of the clove flavors, a little more of the banana. Same thing, Inkbird, super excited.
Really pumped. So now we got everything cleaned up.
Yep.
We got everything sanitized. We're ready to go. It is about 2:30 East Coast time, so we're hitting it a little bit later than we usually do, but it gave us time to kind of relax and get settled with cleaning and things. So let's mash it.
sparging over just a little over 4 gallons for the New England IPA right now. We used room temp.
All right, so we're coming up on the hot break. We're at about 212, 213 degrees for the Hefe. And we're gonna be throwing in a 1/4 ounce of Citra hops. We wanna get a little bit of bitterness on this. It's obviously gonna be very cloudy, very murky, but we wanna get a little grapefruit, orange kind of, with a little bit of bitterness, you know, on the end.
Boiling. New SS Brew Tech.
All right, we're just coming to boil on this, the New England IPA. We're gonna add a 1/4 ounce of Centennial hops. We want to give it a nice slight bitterness. We know New England IPAs don't generally have a ton of bitterness, but we're trying to test out different bittering hops. So this bad boy is 9.3% alpha acids. So it should give us some very slight bitterness, but also hopefully help out with those, accentuate those fruit flavors.
Okay, so we're dropping in a teaspoon of yeast nutrient. 15 minutes left. Cabo.
Brandon, give us a video review on the one bite. Everybody knows the rules on the chicken wings, on my smoked chicken wings.
One bite.
One bite. Everybody knows the rules.
7.5.
Alright, so we're all cleaned up. Everything's put away. Everything's clean. What a day. Alright, we have the New England IPA. Right now we're trying to get it up to temp, utilizing the Inkbird. Fortunately, we also have a second Inkbird that we purchased this week that I'm actually going to show you how to use. So let's take a look. Alright, so here is the temperature probe for the Inkbird temperature thermometer. I'm just going to put it directly in the beer, like so. And now I'm just going to sanitize the airlock. We're not pitching the yeast just yet, we're just trying to get an idea of the temperature on it. Alright, so now that we have the temperature probe in, got the airlock, now we are going to program the Inkbird. So it's automatically set to Celsius. We here in the States enjoy the Fahrenheit way of reading temperatures. So you hold the set button. It's blinking here. We're going to go a couple of clicks here all the way to change it. CF means Celsius or Fahrenheit. Hit up for Fahrenheit and then hold set, and it'll give us the temperature. So the top temperature is what we're basically trying to, what it's at right now. It's a current temperature. The bottom temperature is what the goal is. So the goal temperature is not 77 degrees. We actually want to set that to about 73. So we're going to hold the set button, and now we're going to set just the entire Inkbird thermometer system here. So the first one is the temperature set. So what we want to do is, let's hold that down. Temperature set. We want to bring that down to 73. We want it at 73. So the heating differential, this is going to be the value that how high up do we want it to go. So realistically, I only want it to go up about 1 or 2 degrees. So we'll set it at 2 degrees. The cold differential is going to be just like the heating differential. It's the difference in what your target temperature is. So we'll do it about 2 degrees because it would be all right if it ended up going down to about 71. We'll hit set again, and up next we have the alarm high limit. So basically what this is going to do is you're going to set a temperature that dictates if it gets too high, if it gets up to this temperature, an alarm will go off that tells you that you need to change the temperature pretty much, whether it's unplugging something or whatever the case may be. So we probably don't want this getting any higher than about 77 degrees. We have a very tight temperature window here that we want to hit. So the AL now is going to be the alarm low limit. So this is a very similar concept, except this is for how cold do we want it to get. We don't want it to get much colder than what it's at now. So what we're going to do is set this for about 70 degrees. 70 degrees. And then next is the compressor delay. We just keep this at 0. And then the temperature calibration. This doesn't need to be calibrated, so 0 is just fine. And then Fahrenheit. Hold down set. And as you can see, the heating button turned on. And so what we need to do now is plug a heating pad into this, something to wrap around the fermenter, and then it'll start heating up.
Okay, looks like we're up to temp. Time to pitch.
Alright, so it was a long day of brewing. I think we started right around 8:30, 9 in the morning. Didn't get done till about 8 p.m.
Yeah.
But as you homebrewers know, that's kind of how it goes. What were our OGs, Brandon?
Yeah, so the New England IPA was 1.058, and the Hefe ended up at 1.054.
Yeah, so probably both are on the low end of what we were looking for. More so with the IPA, but we usually attenuate out pretty high. It's going to be interesting to see what the attenuation numbers and whatnot look like with the Inkbirds and the heat wraps, two new variables we're introducing into our brewing process that we have never used before.
Plus a starter, which we haven't done before. We've had the equipment for some time now, and we've just been buying, Imperial has 200 billion cells, I think, in most of them, and usually we put them in pretty fresh, but we thought we'd jump into doing some starters.
Yeah, and we're really excited to see how these beers turn out. Both of them, as Brandon mentioned earlier, are for my graduation party, so we'll have some videos back. We'll have some videos. God, that was awful.
So we'll have some videos that recap the beers themselves, but hopefully you guys enjoyed following along our brewing process, which is ever changing. Unfortunately, we didn't get much footage in terms of commentary of the end of the beers because we had my neighbor come over who's kind of a chatty Cathy, and we had a coworker of mine drop off some amazing Treehouse beers. So thank you, Lauren, for those. Really appreciate it. And so we basically we whirlpooled twice. Once for the New England IPA, that is. We did 2 ounces of the EXP Tangerine and 2 ounces of the Centennial at about 130 degrees. It turned out to be 120 because we utilized the Jaded Brewing wort chillers, which are just too fast. And when you're talking to neighbors and there's a lot of things going on, so we probably whirlpooled at like 110, 120. It was about 120. And then the second whirlpool was at about 100 degrees, 110 to 100, which, what are you going to do? So these things kind of happen, with neighbors and whatnot coming over. You just kind of got to adjust for it.
Yeah. I think we ended up, the Hydra is what we have from Jaded Brewing, and we ended up, we were trying to, pitch at 90. And we actually ended up a little lower than that, so we had to put the heat wrap on it and bring it back up a little bit to 90, 91, where we want to pitch that Kveik. We'll get it. We'll get it.
18 different names for it.
So we were able to do that. We pretty much, were able to get to pitching temp on the Hefe pretty good. We're excited to see how these ink birds work. We're going to need the attenuation as we were a little low on our starting gravity. So hopefully that all attenuates out. We're excited about the beers.
We are. We're very excited.
Very, very tired from a long brew day.
Absolutely. And ready to drink more beer off camera. So thanks for following along.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Salute.
Salute.